Okay. Okay. Good morning. My name is David Parks. I'm a veteran, and I represent Senate District 7 in the Nevada Legislature. Tomorrow, Congress has a chance to demonstrate to the American people that they take their responsibility seriously and vote for the Vow to Hire Heroes Act legislation that will create jobs for those who have served their country. The Vow to Hire Heroes Act is a common sense piece of legislation that will provide much needed relief to our nation's veterans by incentivizing businesses with tax credits to hire veterans. Our returning heroes too often bear the heaviest burden in bad economic times, and it's no different here in Nevada. Back in 1971, when I was discharged from the Air Force, it took me months to find employment. At that time, the country was in a recession, and there was just not jobs to be found. I would go to employers and submit my resume, and they just turned me away. They wouldn't offer application forms. This morning I attended the Project Homeless Connect as a member of the nonprofit organization that sponsors it. I was surprised to see the large number of individuals in line. And of those individuals, somewhere in the range of 3,500 to 4,000, there were a tremendous number of individuals wearing their desert fatigues, indicating that they were military veterans. Someone said this morning that there was possibly a third of the individuals there were returning veterans. Nevada has the highest unemployment rate in the country, and we cannot wait for the economy to turn itself around. Congress must act. The legislation the U.S. Senate is voting on tomorrow will help veterans returning to civilian life find work at a time when they need it most. Men and women serving in the armed forces should not have to fight for a job when they come home. This legislation will help ensure that this does not happen. This Friday we celebrate Veterans Day. There is no greater way to honor those who have served our country than to pass this legislation to make sure there are jobs waiting for them when they arrive home. Congress should pass the Vow to Hire Heroes Act immediately. Thank you.
Good morning as well, and it's good to see you, Senator. Good to see you, Rodney. My name is Elliot Anderson. I'm also a veteran, and I represent Assembly District 15 in the Nevada Assembly. As we celebrate Veterans Day this week, it's important that we remember to honor our nation's veterans, not just with words, but with action. Tomorrow, Washington has the opportunity to do just that and help people who have served our country get what they need the most nowadays, which of course are jobs. Tomorrow the Senate will vote on critical jobs legislation that will help America's veterans get back to work. As a veteran, I know firsthand the struggles our returning heroes face. Too often they get home and find a struggling economy, and the lack of jobs that's pervasive for them. Veterans are in a particularly gray, sort of stuck in the middle area where they're overqualified for a good number of jobs because of their military service, so they can't get the more lower wage jobs because employers think that they may be getting ready to leave and do something better, but then they're also not able to get the jobs that require a bit more training, a four-year degree, etc., because they haven't had the time yet to complete their degree because they've been serving us. So the Vow to Hire Heroes Act is really common sense legislation that will put America's veterans back to work. Specifically in the legislation, there is a Returning Heroes tax credit which will provide $5,600 per veteran to companies that hire a veteran. The Wounded Warriors tax credit will additionally give companies up to $9,600 per veteran to hire veterans with service-connected disabilities. which are some of the hardest folks to employ because of those service-connected disabilities. So it creates a greater reward for employers that are willing to take that opportunity to hire those folks. It's unacceptable to keep returning veterans standing in the unemployment line. Tomorrow the Senate has an opportunity to put partisanship aside, and I really hope they will and pass the VADA Hire Heroes Act. America's veterans have done their part. Now it's time for Congress and the Senate to do theirs and keep the promises made to those who have served our country. Congress should pass these bills now. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Rodney Smith, and I'm a veteran. I'm a retired veteran, a disabled veteran. I'm a wounded warrior. Most importantly today, I've been unemployed for over 6 months after my retirement. Had it not been for starting my own business, I would still be unemployed, which is just totally unacceptable for how Americans should treat their veterans. After coming back and dealing with such difficulty, I've decided to volunteer and help other veterans transition as they return home. And we have so many who are coming home. Veterans, though they wear the uniform of our country, they truly wear the uniform of peace, because where we go, we bring the peace. But as they come home, to return back to their families, to return back to their jobs that oftentimes no longer here, there's so much more that we can do for our veterans. There's an estimated 1 million veterans who are currently unemployed, which is totally unacceptable. It's the most trainable workforce in our country. Where else can you take someone literally from the farm, from the streets, and train them to be tankers, to be pararescuemen, to be pilots? This is a trainable workforce with over 3 million positions in America today that are going unfilled because of lack of trained personnel. Here is a ready and willing workforce, ready to be trained and ready to be put back to work. As we soon will be celebrating Veterans Day on the 11th year of the 11th month, the 11th day. As we take the time to honor those who serve so that we can do so many things and exercise in our freedoms. The United States Senate will vote on whether or not these veterans will have an opportunity to put those skills back to work. I would ask that the Senate continue to consider them, not just with words, because in the words of President Kennedy, it's not the utterances of words that show support, but it's in the actions. And we ask Congress to act in helping putting veterans back to work. Thank you for supporting us as we have supported you, and we ask that you continue to support those warriors as they return home. Thank you.